Welcome back all the Dynamic 365 enthusiasts to another session of Hacha Tech Matic. Today we would be looking into the SharePoint integration with Dynamic 365, which is vital for your storage issues. So let's get started. So we are into our Power Apps, and from here we will move to our settings. Earlier we used to do it into the UI, older UI, but recently the UI has been changed and we would be looking into the newer UI and how to proceed ahead with it. So from here, we'll open up a Sales Hub. And once we are in a Sales Hub, we go to the settings. We go to the advanced settings. And once advanced setting is opening up, we know storage is a vital issue in Dynamics 365. So SharePoint help us to store our all folders, documents, and attachments in the SharePoint and helping to I would say monitor and utilize the storage in Dynamics 365 itself. So here we are in the newer UI of advanced setting, which we can go from the Sales Hub app or Customer Service Hub or app, or I would say Field Services app. Any of the app, if you go to the settings and advanced setting, the newer UI will open. Here you have the same information as per the older UI in a very systematic and in a newer version. Along with that, you have a little description to all those which are there. So what exactly all these options and the buttons would be doing, the features would be doing in Dynamic 365 itself. So you can have a little description of them. So we'll go to the system here on the left hand side and we will go to our document management. Once we are under the document management, we can see the new information once again. So we have the document management settings, we have configure server-based SharePoint integration, manage document suggestions, SharePoint document locations, and SharePoint site. Along with that, you have a little description that what all these features would be doing. So today our main motive is on configure server-based SharePoint integration. So I'll open that up. On the left hand side, on the right hand side, sorry, you can see the window has popped up and you can see the information regarding it, what exactly the SharePoint integration is and what it would be doing. You can click on next. There are two options. Right now you can see the on-premise is grayed out. So online is there, you select the online option. Then you click on next. Once you do that, it will ask you for your URL of the SharePoint to authenticate and validate it. So we'll open up the SharePoint URL. So I had my URL ready with me, but if you are looking for how to create a site in the SharePoint, I have a different video for that. You can look to that and you can create a SharePoint site as well. Once we have inserted the URL, we click on next. It will validate it. And once it is validated, it gives me the authentication issue. So let's see what exactly the issue is. Something coming up. Nothing is showing up, so it means all good. But I cannot see the next option here, so there is an issue out there. So we'll go back once again. We will check what the problem is. Doesn't seem to be anything there. And yeah, there is an issue. So the URL which I have copied is different, which I don't want. So I'll just go that, I'll clear it off, and I'll come back with the URL once again. So I go back, I will check my SharePoint URL. Okay, so we are checking our SharePoint site. So we'll go back to the SharePoint. We'll open the SharePoint. We'll take the URL from the top here. We'll come back to our Dynamics. We'll paste the URL. We click on next. It is validating. The validation has been succeeded. We click on next. It says that would you like to enable OneDrive for business? It's an optional. Right now you don't require because it is already enabled. So you click on next. It will give you a short summary what you're doing out here and you can click on done. Once you do that, the SharePoint integration has been succeeded. However, you will not come to know whether it has been succeeded or not because nothing appears or nothing changes or no information is updated on this page. So what we will do, we'll just quickly refresh the page. We'll go to our accounts here. we'll go to one of the accounts and we can click on details. So right now you can see there is nothing stated with the documents out here. There is no information that where the documents are coming from or what the documents is all about. Same thing, you can go with the contacts. So once you integrate the SharePoint or configure the SharePoint with Dynamics 365, there is a new option comes up with document, which is will open up in a new tab. And there you would be able to see the documents, or you can attach the documents, and that would go into your SharePoint. I'll go back to my Power Apps. I'll go to Advanced Settings here, which will open up in an older UI still. I go here to Document Management. Okay, so now here you can see the enable option of server integration has been gone, SharePoint integration. Instead, we can see OneNote integration has been done. So that means the integration is done. So what we need to do is that we come back to our Sales Hub. We will just refresh the page, a hard refresh. And once we do that, the entire system of the UI is getting updated here. And once it is updated, you go back to the related, and it has not been yet updated. So let's go once again to our account, contacts. Okay, it's still taking time to update. So let's have a hard refresh. So what we do, we just press F12 from the keyboard, and it will open up this developer mode here. Just right click on the refresh button and say empty cache and hard refresh. Okay. So I come back here, I still don't see documents. Now, what is the reason regarding it? You might have this question that SharePoint integration has been done, but still I cannot see the documents. So the problem is here. So once you do this configure server-based SharePoint integration, you have just made a connection with SharePoint and Dynamics 365, but yet you have not made that actual connection. It's a virtual connection. Now you have to make an actual connection so that your documents are moving to the SharePoint. So for that, we need to go to the document management settings. Once we go there, it will open up in a new window. It will just take a couple of seconds to come up, the data to come up. While it is uploading here, we can have a quick check. So okay, so here it has been updated. So you can see few of the few of the entities are enabled already. So if you want, you can uncheck them. If you want to check new entities, you can do that. So I can enable case here. I'll go back down here. I can see customer contact is there or not. So configuration is there. Connection contract is there. Contact has not been checked. So I'll check the contact here. And what other entities you want for the document management to be there for the SharePoint. So you can enable that. You can check that and it would be enabled. Now here we need to enter our URL once again. So it's already been pasted. I have just copied. I have pasted it. We click on next. Once we click on next, it will ask you that what is the structure you would like in the SharePoint. So usually we have two options here, which is contact and account. So if you select any one of it, then a main folder would be created with that particular account. So like I would go with the account. So with Hatsa Techmatic, if there is an account, a folder would be created in any communication, any lead, opportunity, invoices, codes, orders are coming up. Those documents which are getting updated under those particular entities will go under the account. So it will create account with Hatsa Techmatic. Then it will create another folder with the if there is an opportunity. So it will create an opportunity folder. Under that opportunity folder, it will create a record, and under that record, it will upload my document. That way. Similarly, it goes with the contact. If you want, you can do that. So you can see here, it says a folder path would be account, account name, entity name, and the record name, and then the folder and the document. Else you can just uncheck it. So every single folder would be created differently for account, different for opportunity, for lead, for quote, for invoices. Every folder would be created differently. So I'll just go without the structure. I click on next. Once I do that, it will just refresh the data in the background. It will start syncing it in the SharePoint so that the folders are created in the SharePoint and we can upload the data from the Dynamic 365 itself. So again, it will take a couple of seconds. Usually it is a little slow to provide the data, but you have to keep a little patience here. So you can see it is refreshing. You can see the cursor is blinking. And once it comes up, you will have the information that how many folders you have created, how many folders got succeeded, were there any failure with the creation of the folder, and all those information. So it is taking a little time here. So I'll just refresh it once directly. And let's see if the information comes in. There it is. So it took me to the previous page once again. So I click on next. Oh, sorry, I'll just go back here. I just need to check the case and the contact. So I'll just click on case. I'll go back on the contact. So there is a difference between contact and contract. So don't get confused. URL is there. Next. Next. Once you do that, so it says that your folder path is getting created under this URL. Okay. Once you do that, you can say the processing is coming up. So it will give you the information to be created 39. So just zoom in a little bit. So you can see 39 to be created, newly created 39, no failure, nothing, no already exist. And every status is in succeed. That is done. I'll click on finish. And once I do that, I can go back to my SharePoint, my documents, and I can see the folders has been created now. So earlier there will be nothing in this particular drop down. It will just be documents. But after you sync and you provide the folders, everything would be created easily under this particular section now. So I'll go back to the account. So still we cannot see the document. Oh, now the document is here. So that's a quick refresh here, sync. We don't have to refresh anything. Okay. So a document has been created. You have the document on default site and everything. So how it will work, we'll quickly see that. So either you can go and upload a document from here. So I'll just click on upload. It will ask you choose a file, override existing file or not. If already exists, yes and no. So I'll choose a file. Let's say this picture out here, MacBook. Okay. And that has been attached. I'll come back to my account, A Data Corporation. So I'll go back to my SharePoint account. A folder has been created by the name of A Data Corporation, Datum Corporation. I'll open that. And there you can see the images there. So I'll just click open the image. So there you can see the images there. Similarly, if you want, you can go back to your account. You can create, you can do upload documents, which is Word, Excel, PowerPoint, OneNote, or a folder we can create. Else you can just directly, you can upload that, or you can directly create from the site itself. So I'll say that it's a test document. Let's just give it a name test, save. So the file is opening up. A file is there, so I'll just say test. I just copy this quickly, put a test, and test. That's it sufficient. I'll save this. I'll close this. Once I do that, the test document shows up under the A Datum Corporation. I go back to my SharePoint and I can see the same file there, same folder there. So that is one way. You can either go ahead and create it from the SharePoint as well if the permissions allow. So I go there, I can say, let's do this time Excel. So an Excel book will open up, the same thing, test, and I'll just try to copy this. Usually it doesn't allow me to copy. And there, I save this, I close this, I can see the Excel, I come back to my account, I refresh it, and there the Excel file is there. So in this way, you can manage your storage in Dynamic 365 instead of uploading your data, every information in your Dynamics itself. You can just do it in SharePoint. So you can just upload the document from Dynamic 365 to SharePoint, and in future, if there is a storage crunch, you can remove those documents, those files from your Dynamic 365. In this way, you are managing your storage, and you don't get shortage of storage, or you don't have to buy storage from from Microsoft itself for your Dynamic 365. So do look into it, and if there is any further queries, you can comment down on the video, and we'll try to reach out to you regarding the same. Have a great day. Thank you.